Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to Monday Morning Jumpstart. It is 8:17. We are 2 minutes late because Karen was having a little bit of a technical thing going on. But you know what? That's all right. It's Monday. It's a clean slate, and we get to do it all over again. I am here with the gorgeous, amazing, wicked smart executive coach, Kim Dudash. Hey Kim, what's
Good
up?
morning. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Monday. Okay, y'all, you know how we do it. Monday Morning Jumpstart. This is the place for you if you are an entrepreneur or professional, community leader, leader of any type, because we believe leadership is a lifestyle, not a title or a position. But if you're looking for an opportunity to get focused, connect to your purpose, and develop perspective, then guess what? This is the place for you. I need you to come on in here. Oh, wake up. Okay, I've been up already. Y'all know it takes me about an hour and a half to get this kind of basic. Okay, and this is basic for me. Yeah, so I've been up for a while, and Kim looks like she's glowing, which is always the case. I don't know how she does it. Anyway, Kim, what have you been doing this weekend?
This was our last weekend of our farmers market for Dudash Farms. So we had a really good, and my cat may be in our background here, but
That's
that's
okay.
that's how it works. That's how we roll.
Cat people.
That's right. And it's been a gorgeous weekend. So we did a lot of work outside on the farm and just really enjoying this fall weather. It has been amazing. How about you?
Well, let's see. What did I do? I worked quite a bit, and then pretty much all day Saturday, I was hanging out with my son. He had a game, and yeah, and then we hung out with some friends, and that was really wonderful. So I don't
Isn't
know.
it great to is isn't it great to be able to hang out with friends again?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think for us, for those of you that are like, okay, Karen's not my people because she's not socially distancing. Yes, we were social distancing. We do our level best. And we're here in Georgia. So Georgia is like hard at it, trying to figure things out, trying to figure out how to get back to life in a safe way. And so that's been really interesting. But yes, I love the fact that I've been able to see friends. Oh, and by the way, I recently had an opportunity to hang out with Kim Dudash at Dudash Farms, you guys.
Oh,
And it
it
was
was fun.
amazing. It was so much fun. I got a chance to see the cows. I met the bull. I'm gonna post a picture of me with that bull.
He's a big
We're not
one.
gonna
He's a
talk
big
about
one.
it. He's a big one. But anyway, and wait for it, you guys. We have none other than our community pastor coming into the stream.
Hey,
Hey, hey,
hey,
hey, Pastor Andy Smith.
how are
Good
you
morning,
guys?
Pastor.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys? Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you too. So glad you could make it.
Yes.
We were just kind of recapping the weekend. What'd you do this weekend?
Oh, well, enjoyed the weather. That was one thing.
Yes.
And getting ready, we are doing some really cool things at the church. And so we are getting dialed back in and celebrating birthdays. This is birthday month for our family. So we are celebrating birthdays, getting ready. So we had a blast. It was a great weekend.
That's awesome. Okay, so I have to know. I may be a little biased. So for those of you that are, that in your jam, just hold on a minute. We'll get there in a minute. But Pastor Andy Smith, you said you're doing some cool things at church. Talk to me about that. What are y'all doing? What's going on?
Well, we are actually walking people through kind of how to take the process of what we've been through and
Uh-huh.
then bring it back into context of creating a bit of a new normal. And for us, it's, did this catch us all by off guard? Is there nothing in context that lets us know that what we're facing was what we're going to be facing? And what do we do now? And how do you lead through the uncertainty? And so when you don't know what's going to happen, what do you do? It's kind of like when you can't control what's happening, what do you do? And so we're looking at the when you don't know what to do kind of dynamic. And then where does faith play into all of this, right? Were we built on a method or a mission? Do we need to reconsider, is this idea of following Christ a philosophical change? or maybe did we miss some things, and this is an opportunity to see what we didn't see before. So, it's been a really great journey, and we're getting ready to do some relaunch some kids stuff, and I don't know. I'm just excited. I feel like there's just this fresh new wave of walking in community with a different level of expectation. Really, people are weary and scattered, Karen. People are weary and scattered everywhere, and because they're weary and scattered, it's no longer business as usual. We have to address the exhaustion, and it's not just a physical exhaustion.
Right.
It's a societal exhaustion.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's even a phrase, but let's
it's good.
It is now.
right. And people are just exhausted with society.
Yeah.
We're exhausted with what we thought was sinner that's no longer sinner. Right.
Yeah.
So what do you do? So.
Well, it sounds like you've got like a lot of things going on. Oh, and by the way, I had an opportunity to hear Pastor Andy preach, and when I tell you, he brought the fire. I mean, it's such a positive, loving, and encouraging place, a very diverse community, and I'm so grateful for you, Pastor Andy.
Thank you.
And all that you're doing, the way you're leading right now. I'm going to jump into the live stream because we've got some of my favorite people. I don't have favorites, but some of my favorite people in the world are right here joining us for Monday Morning Jumpstart. Okay, let's talk about the fact that Susan is here. Susan, I do not want to butcher your name, but I'm going to try. Please forgive me if I get it wrong, but I love this woman. It's going to be Susan, Kim, it's going to be Susan, Amy Allen, and Sarah Steele, Debbie Beaudry Hatch, and we're all going to get together. We're going to go to Debbie's place, okay?
I would love it.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. But Susan, this is Kozajowski. Oh, did I get that right? Oh my gosh, I don't know, but it's so good to see you in here. Good morning. And we have, of course, the incomparable, the amazing, this is the woman to know when you need a hug or a kick in the pants. Coach Kyla Charlemagne is here. She is Career Lemonade. She is the HR boss, the HR whisperer. Who was it last night? It was, I'm going to think of it in a minute. Somebody had the HR lady. So I don't remember what it was. Anyway, Coach Kyla Charlemagne is here this morning, and I think she's got some things to say to us about this. So Coach Kyla, I need you to lean into this conversation because we're talking about your why and your work. That's our topic for today. We're going to get into it in just a moment, but I want to just check in. We've got Sarah Fruman in the feed. I think she's in here. Yes. Coach Kyla says some of the best people are born in October. Okay, I'll take it. I know you're right. And of course we have Christy Kent. Good morning, Christy Kent. Love you, sweetheart. Oh my gosh, it was so good to see your beautiful face yesterday. Oh my gosh, that was just like a drink of cool water. Christy Kent and I are fellow influencers, so it was amazing to see her. Let's see, anybody else we got in here? Oh my gosh. And we have, I'm going to call her the sleep whisperer. This is Christina Grabnikas. Did I say that right? Oh, y'all are going to have to catch me this morning. Oh my gosh. Christina's specialty is helping people get good sleep. She has a live stream, and I am so excited to see her in the stream this morning. And we have one of my besties, one of my boos. She is mother to 4 of my godchildren. She is none other than Caroline Rast. Y'all give it up for Caroline. That's my girl. Okay. She is my girl. I love her so much. And let's see. Yes, Christy says it was so awesome to give you a real hug. I love that. Thank you so much. I needed it. Okay. Yes, we were social distance with the mask and all like that. So don't y'all send me any messages because I'm not here for it. Okay. This morning, y'all can see I got a little bit of swag in me this morning. I am ready to tackle this topic called your work and your why. Your work and your why. And here's how we're going to set it up. So for those of you that are in the live stream, I need you to just drop a note in the comments, your work and your why. First of all, if you're a corporate type, I need you to give me a little shout. I need you to kind of like, I'm working in corporate, I'm working for somebody else, I'm working in an office, something like that. If you're an entrepreneur, I need you to give me a shout out too that says, you know what, I got my own thing. Maybe you've got a little side hustle, whatever it is. There's a reason we're talking about your why and your work. I don't care if you are in a for-profit, nonprofit, if you're in a ministry environment, knowing your why is everything. I think it was last week we had an amazing show, but we were talking about the difference between having a passion and your purpose. Okay, having a passion and knowing your purpose. And here's what I boiled it down to. Passion is what will bring you to the work. Purpose is what will keep you in the work. That's good, Karen. That's good. We started off good. Okay, I need you to talk to me, Pastor Andy Smith. Come on, bring it in for just a minute. Let's talk about the difference between passion and purpose. Can you break it down for us just a quick minute before we kind of dive in?
Yeah, it's a great, Karen. That's a brilliant way for you to say that. I think, and that brings a lot of clarity. I think passion comes and goes. And passion is like the child of the adult of purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose is maturity, right? Purpose is when you've settled into something and really started gaining your stride, because your purpose is the only thing that can overcome obstacles. Passion never overcomes obstacles. Passion gets you motivated to address them. Purpose is the idea that I'm persuaded and therefore I'm unstoppable. I was thinking about the cast last week, and I was thinking, you don't invest into a future that you're passionate about, but you can't find something more solid as to, am I willing to give the rest of my life to this? That's purpose, right? Purpose says, because purpose is going to demand that you have to discipline yourself. You have to correct yourself. There are all these dynamics that purpose will demand you go through.
Right.
And if you just rely on passion, well, I can lose my passion in a heartbeat.
Right.
You discourage me, attack me, criticize me, that deflates my balloon. But purpose, you don't understand. I didn't call. It's one of those revelations, like, I didn't ask for this, so there's nothing I can do. The one choice I don't have is to not be who I am and who I am called to be.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I love where you were going with this. The passion is it can wane, right? So I'll give you a perfect example. I was thinking about this last night. So when quarantine first started, and really through like right before fall started, gardening was my passion, right? Y'all saw me. I did the lessons from the garden and all that sort of thing. I was growing things left and right. Never had a green thumb, but for whatever reason this season, and you know why? Because I had the time to invest, right? I had the time to invest. I needed something to sink my teeth into. So gardening really lit my fire. It got me excited. It got me up out of bed in the morning. Can I just tell you, here we are 7-8 months later, my executive coaching practice is back at it, right? Rock Your Vision is back at it. And guess what has gone by the wayside? No more watermelons, no more cucumbers, okay? Like, there's some vines out there that are unspeakable. And I'm okay with it, because what I realized is it was a temporary passion. Now, passion can excite you, and it can ignite something in you, but it's purpose that keeps you. And Pastor Andy said it well. Purpose is where you get deeper into the habits that you're going to need to sustain things when things get rough. Can I get an amen? That's good, right? Kim, talk to us for a minute about this idea between the difference between passion and purpose.
Well, as I was listening to Andy, I mean, he's so right. And then I was thinking about myself, Pastor Andy, as you were talking, and just about for me, when I look at my life, the difference between passion and purpose. So I know that my purpose is to enlighten and inspire other people. And I can do that through lots of different things that I'm passionate about, right? So, during the quarantine, and during the course of the pandemic, Brian and I have really put a lot of focus on the farm and what we're doing to help our community. And that's still part of my purpose, right? I mean, my purpose is to enlighten and enlighten people on where their food is coming from and what they're putting into their bodies, and inspire them to learn more and inspire them to eat better. So that is my passion. And it fits into my purpose. And my coaching, it's the same thing. Even though it's a different avenue, I'm still able to enlighten and inspire people to become, to become better in life, or to become a better leader. So, I mean, passion is fleeting, right? But purpose that's your foundation. That's what you were created to do. And like you said, Pastor Andy, there's nothing I can do about that. That's who I am. That is my foundation. That is my authentic self.
Yeah.
Yep. And one of the things that I would add to that I think is so fascinating, Karen, for me, I've learned that passion may lead to profession, but your profession could change. So I think the real progression for us to understand, kind of like if we had to draw down like in a Venn diagram, if the sweet spot in life, I think the sweet spot for all of our life is where our passion and our purpose, our passion and our purpose and our profession all line up.
Right.
But I think if we had to put it on a continuum, it would be passion, profession, and purpose. And why would I say it that way? Because your profession may change, but if I'm doing my job today, and then I'm going and hanging out with you to do something, and then I'm going and hanging out maybe with a police department doing something, or I'm going out and hanging out with a corporation doing something, that may be profession driven. But when I encounter someone that calls out my purpose, that I'll do even if you didn't ask me to do it.
Right.
And when I do that, the impact is exponentially greater.
Wow.
Because now you're not drawing from my passion. You're not drawing from my profession. You're drawing from my identity. You're drawing from the essence of who I was created to be. And I can't not be who I am.
Yeah. So good. I want to just call out right now that Coach Lawrence Henderson, who is officially a part of the RYV squad, is in the live stream. He's traveling today. So he's giving you some shout outs already, Pastor Andy. Y'all, the two of y'all together, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm ever going to put y'all in a room together, because that's just a lot of heat. But anyway, he says, passion is the child to the adult of purpose. That really rang true for him. And I think that's super true. That purpose piece is really who we are. And so I want to talk about today this whole idea of your work and your why. And the reason that we're talking about this is that, as we're kind of coming through the pandemic, I won't say we're all the way out of it, but as we're coming through it and people are starting to adjust, right? They're some of us are still getting over the shock of having lost a job, or lost someone that we loved, or feeling like we had our position shuffled, right? Our expectations disappointed, right? Pastor Andy was talking about that yesterday. And for some of us, we're just trying to deal with the overwhelm of having a bunch more stuff to do, whatever that is. Here's what I want you to remember: that your work is a vehicle for your purpose. I don't care if you are, a stay-at-home CEO or COO. I don't care if you are serving the public somewhere, if you're serving pizza somewhere. Your work is a vehicle for your purpose. Your purpose is that thing that you were designed to do, you were created to do in the earth. And, sometimes I think we get stuck in watching everybody else's purpose play out, but we're not clear on what our purpose is, right? And you know what happens when we're not clear about what our purpose is? We'll get, pardon my French, but we'll get stuck on stupid. We'll get in a job and think about, okay, well, I didn't get this promotion, or I didn't get that, or I could be doing her job, or I need to be straining and struggling to do something that maybe doesn't fit with what you were called to do, your purpose driven kind of wiring. And so I want to talk about it today. But for real quick, I'm going to pop back in here to the live stream because we've got some more awesome RYV members in here, community members. We've got Coach Shay Cunningham, Slay by Shay, y'all. She brought the noise with Shay Houston from Shay Renee Macaron. I want y'all to know, if you missed that stream, you need to go back and watch it. You can find it here. You can find it on YouTube. Unbelievable. Some of the nuggets that she was dropping. She quotes, yes, purpose will outrun your passion. I absolutely love that. Shay, I am here for that. Christina says, let's see, let me bring her up here. She says, passion is the motivation that makes us feel good. Purpose is the reason we keep going. Mic drop. Oh my gosh, so good. Coach Akila Charlemagne is here and she's talking about it. She says, right on, Kim. Like Slay by Shay said last week, purpose will beat passion in a race when you feel like you got nothing left. Come on. Purpose is that thing that just keeps you going. It keeps that when your muscles are firing, right? And passion got you in the race and you're like, okay, bump that. Like, I'm done with whatever it was I started doing. Purpose is the thing that will say, hold on a second, we're not done. We're not finished. How about you? Okay, here's my question. Here's my first question for you. Coach Kim, do you think that most people feel connected in their work to their purpose? And if, why or why not? Like, do you think that that's the norm or do you think it's not?
I do not think that most people feel connected to their work. I think it's because we don't take the time to really think about our, what we're talking about today. We really don't stop to think about our why, our purpose, or why we're doing the things that we're doing. We're just trying to make a living. And I think we have to remember that happiness and fulfillment are two different things. So, I love what Akila was just saying there. Purpose will beat passion in a race when you feel like you have nothing left. And that was a Slay by Shay quote there. But it's true. I mean, you may be in your work and you may be working in your passion or working in your purpose or living in your purpose, but you don't feel a level of happy. Happy is so fleeting, right? Yeah. But if you are in your work and you feel fulfilled, and I guess that's sort of the same as what we're talking about here with purpose and passion, right? I mean, but I do not think, I think there are a lot of people out there who have missed the mark and they're not fulfilled. Mm-hmm. And it's because we don't take the time to really think about why we were created, what our purpose is. So
yeah, I really agree with you, Kim. I love the way you set that up. And here's what the data will tell us. I mean, you pick a study, right? There are all kinds of studies that look at this kind of thing. But the idea that, the majority of people are working in jobs and are disengaged. We can pull lots from that, right? And what do we mean by disengaged? That means that the tendency is not to give too much discretionary effort, right? We give just enough, or there's that set of employees or set of entrepreneurs who are just going through the motions. For those of you that are entrepreneurs, how many of you know that struggle is real, and you can get to the point where you are not engaged, you're not passionate about your work. You're doing it, but you're just getting by, you're exhausted, you're overwhelmed, or you're burning the midnight oil all the time, and that's not sustainable. Or maybe you're in a corporate environment and you're just not feeling it. Maybe you've been doing it a long time, maybe you've been there too long, or maybe you haven't been there long enough and you're thinking about leaving, and what you need to be doing is staying. You need to be connected to your purpose, right? Because purpose will help you uncover opportunity that passion will make you walk right by. That's another one. That's so good. I mean, I get energized by that. Thinking about the fact that when you are connected to your purpose and you're clear about your purpose, right? When you're in any environment, you can find an opportunity to make a difference and to make an impact. Sometimes we got to get past all of the trappings, all of the things that we think we see. And in this season right now, I mean, y'all talk to me about this, in this season right now, where it feels like there's a lot of lack, where it feels like things are shut down, I want you to know you can find purpose. You can find a way to make an impact. When quarantine first started, all of my contracts shut down, and well, they should have. Okay, I'm clear about that. But as I thought about, okay, what on earth, what am I going to do? I put a pause on. I literally got in my prayer room upstairs and I said, Lord, I need you to help me understand where my lane is, because ain't nobody talking to Karen about, the things that I do. And he said, you know what? You've forgotten your purpose. Whether you're getting paid for it or not, what is it you were born to do? So I started reaching out to my clients and saying, I'm not looking for a dime. I want to know how I can support you. Fast forward a few months, one of my corporate stakeholders called me and he said, Karen, I want you to know something. When the pandemic started, everybody else was trying to make a quick buck. You reached out and asked how you could help without any cost, charge, anything like that. We couldn't do anything then, but we're ready to get back at it now. And you're going to be leading this effort for us. Where is it? Come on.
And that's
When
what
you
happens.
yes,
That's
come
what
on,
happens. That's what happens when you are following your purpose. Same kind of things happened for me, Karen. I had someone reach out to me because he lost his job in the pandemic, and he's struggling with what do I do next. And I could have said, well, I can charge you this much and we can figure it out. But I said, no, how can I help you? And helped him through that process, just as his friend, because that's what I was designed to do. That's what I was created to do.
Wow.
And as a result of that, I've gotten some referrals, and it's not about it's really, like you say, it's about fulfilling my purpose, regardless of whether I'm making any money at it or not. What was I designed to do? What was I created to do? And I think that when you are following your purpose, everything will fall into place as it should. It may not look the way you thought it was going to look. It may not look the way you planned, but it will be, even for me, it has been even better. So such a difference between purpose and passion. Absolutely. And being happy and fulfilled.
That's so good. You know what I think happens sometimes is when hard times come, when struggles come, it can whisper things about our purpose, right? When hard time, well, I know you thought you were supposed to be doing, I know you thought you were supposed to be here. I know you thought you had a plan, but well, you remember what happened last time you had a plan, right? That's what hard times and struggle can do. But when you have a purpose, not just when you have a purpose, y'all, I need you to hear me for a minute. I feel the anointing coming, okay? Not just when you have a purpose, but when you're clear about your purpose. You should be able to articulate what it is you were created to do. You say, well, Karen, I'm still on the journey. I still don't even really know. purpose is something that is unveiled. True story. It is unveiled over time. Pastor Andy, I'm going to need you to pick this up and run with it a minute, because I think you got some things to say about this one.
Oh no, it's so good. I think part of what's wrong with culture today is we have too many people that are not doing the work of discovering and developing themselves according to their purpose, and they're trying to run after a profession. They're trying to run after a persona, an influence. But there's something misleading about this idea of purpose. Purpose is not the fruit of your efforts. Purpose determines the fruit.
Come on, I need you to say that one more again.
Produce.
Can you just repeat that?
Yeah, purpose is not the fruit of your efforts. Purpose will determine the fruit of your effort. And so, it's like I tell people all the time. You're so focused on your performance that you have no power to impact and influence people, because purpose will drive your performance. And then you will have options determine what you want your profession to be. We're backwards in every way. And here's the other thing. You talked about, you made a reference before, Karen. You said, I was passed over for that. I deserve that. Well, let me just tell you, this is whether we like it or not. Okay, whether we like it or not. If I am going to manage my own justice, I will simultaneously forfeit my influence and eliminate my impact, because you cannot be someone who fights for something while simultaneously fights for yourself. It is such a lie.
Okay, I know it's hard. I'm gonna need you to go back and revisit that, because I felt like I was gonna pass out there for a minute. Can you just go back over that? I don't want us to miss that.
Well, here's the thing. I deal with a lot of people, and let me just be quite honest about myself. I have to encourage myself many times to remind my own thinking to the place of maturity.
Yeah.
Years ago, Leslie and I wrote down a mission statement. We exist to impact and influence people towards faith in Christ. I've built houses. I have worked in the construction industry. I've pastored. I have also done some consulting. I have had a myriad of different gigs, professions, jobs. My purpose has never stopped. And in fact, in every one of those professions, I have had a platform for my purpose.
Come on, Kim.
And the reason is because
we got the amen choir here.
Yeah, and and in all of those, I had to walk in, and here's the thing, right? Now, to keep us on point, because I could go in so many rabbit trails, but if you really want, and I really want to have an impact and an influence, if leadership is really our goal, and it is really the full desire of our heart, then we have to realize purpose has got to drive every interpretation of every circumstance. If purpose doesn't become the filter in which I see everything, I will constantly be the greatest enemy of my purpose. Wow. There is no other enemy to my purpose but me. And I'll tell you why. Because no one can stop the impact and influence I have on you, no matter which seat I'm sitting in the organization. So I've got to make sure that my purpose keeps me accountable. My purpose does nothing for you. By the way, purpose benefits nobody until it transforms me.
Wow. That's so true.
Right? And so I've got to lay down the desperate, insecure need to fight for my justice and let purpose argue the case that beyond contestation to the world around me, and realize the cost of winning justice is to lose my influence and forfeit my impact.
Wow.
That's just a few thoughts in this idea of why purpose is so critical.
I'm tired. I just
you're funny.
Woo! I hope y'all got all that. because I just, y'all, listen to me. So many people have been impacted in 2020 to the point that what I began to see was kind of this collective malaise. This, and I led that group. Like I had my own group, okay, of whoa, it's me, and I don't know what to do. Like, I had my own group. And then, and this is the way the Holy Spirit talks to me. The Holy Spirit was like, really? Really? How does the Holy Spirit talk to y'all? Like whether you're a believer or not, what's that inner voice that speaks to you when you need a good, right, really strong hug or a kick in the pants? Because for me, I'm super extra. So I'm in extremes, right? For me, I needed a kick in the pants. I needed to get back to my purpose. You say, well, Karen, with so many things shut down, how is it that I can connect to my purpose? How is it that I can, in my language, get back to the path, back to my why? We're going to talk about that in a minute, but I do not want to miss the opportunity just to shout out a couple other people who are in the stream. I see y'all. I just want you to know. We've got Sue Miller-Hurst in here. Oh my goodness. Hey, Sue. Hey, Sue is one of my amazing colleagues and girlfriends. We go way back, and she's here in the stream. I am super excited to see her in here. Thank you so much for joining us. And yes, we have the amazing Shay Houston from Shay Renee Macaron. Shay, I'm going to need you. We will settle up later. I'm going to need you to send a box of macarons to Coach Kim Dudash and Pastor Andy Smith, Lawrence Henderson, and
Woohoo!
Jeff Bull, who is somewhere in the world thinking about us, I'm sure. But all of the squad members, I'm going to need you to just set up a little box chain. And Vanessa will settle up with you later because I want them to have a little bit of your goodness. Y'all, if you have not tasted Shay Renee Macarons, I need you to go to ShayReneeMacarons.com and check her out. She is everything. Okay. Let's see. Hold on a second. I think, do we have Zach Knudsen in here? Is he in here somewhere and I missed it? Okay,
Yep,
Zach,
he's here.
Is he here?
He's here.
Awesome. Hey, Zach, you and I need to catch up, boo. Okay. So we've talked about this whole idea of your why at work. Okay. Doesn't matter what kind of work you are doing, but I've got another question for you. This actually came in from somebody on the DMs. Why do I even need a why at work? Why bother? I'm an admin. My why doesn't matter. I answer phones, I handle a schedule. Why does my why matter? I need some of y'all in the live stream to weigh in on this. Okay. Why have a why at work? Why have a why at work? Coach Kim, I need you to talk to me about this. Why bother having I'm not really doing anything. Why have a why at work?
Oh, wow. I think that's such a great question. And I would say that, my why is what, and Pastor Andy said it earlier, my why is what I filter everything through, right? It's what helps me make decisions. And I think, and I'm sorry to pause here for a second, but this is it is such a great question because I think, we get so caught up in doing that we don't think one thing about being. Yeah. And there's such a difference. And I think my why helps me determine who I'm going to be, how I'm going to show up every day, right? And as Pastor Andy said, when we have a purpose, it doesn't matter what activity I'm doing, if I am whatever role I'm in, whether I'm an admin, whether I'm the CEO, whether I'm the janitor, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I am going to make an impact
Come on.
based on my purpose. So I think when the pandemic hit, for me, I feel like the Holy Spirit was saying to all of us, hold the phone. It's time for you to take a step back away from doing, and let's figure out who we are, and let's figure out how we're showing up in the world every day, and let's focus on being. So it doesn't matter what role you play in an organization. Your why is so important because it reminds you every day that you get up and you drive to work, or you get up and you get on your computer, that this is why I am here. This is why I'm a part of this. And this is what I'm going to contribute based on who I am, based on being, right?
So good. Okay, y'all. Your purpose is important at work because at the end of the day, your purpose points you to who you are, not what you are. I'm going to let y'all sit on that a minute. It got really quiet in the stream. I'm just telling you, you may be missing an opportunity to be all of who you were created to be. I believe we all have an assignment. Not one of you is a mistake. I'm just going to set you free right there. Not one of you is a mistake. You were created with intention. I had somebody in my family and I come from a family of pastors, so I'm not going to call any names. But it's my dad. But years ago, my dad is a very accomplished man. And somebody said, I'm going to get in lots of trouble for this. Hold on a second. Somebody said, hey, Karen, why don't you have your dad on Monday Morning Jumpstart? And I said a real fast, because y'all don't have that kind of time. And I've listened to 91 years of preaching and teaching. I've heard it all. Anyway, he's adorable. By the way, my dad is about to be on YouTube. I can't talk about it right now, but I'll tell you that story later. But one day we were having this conversation about the fact that he had always wanted a big church. I see my friends have these big churches, and they've got thousands of followers and congregants and all that sort of a thing. And my dad has always been a pastor in small communities. And I always thought my dad was a hero. So I'm looking at it right from the outside in. He was looking at it from the inside out. Perspective is everything. Now, for me, he was a hero to me. And guess what? I reminded him that he was a hero to all of those people in those small towns who needed a pastor to speak life into them, to bring them food, to pray over them in the hospital, to help them build houses, to do all of those things. That was his assignment. Some of you are thinking you're playing small. You're on assignment. Your purpose is what defines who you are, not what you are. I need you to step up out of that funk you're in, whatever. I need you to get unstuck to see you are making an impact. If you're a receptionist, or maybe you're a security guard, you have an opportunity to speak life and to change the trajectory of every person you see that walks through your door. That's your door, by the way. Anyway.
And, Karen, in addition to that, just, as Pastor Andy was saying earlier, sometimes we get so caught up in the role we think we're supposed to play. And so if we would just be in our role and be who we were created to be, we are going to you're right, we're going to impact. There's some way that we're going to impact. We can change the trajectory of the whole thing. We can make a difference. We can lead from the middle of the pack. We don't have to be the top person, right? So if we are trying to play a role, if we are, like you say, playing small or doing what we think others expect us to do instead of being our authentic self, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss the mark.
Absolutely. Sue Miller-Hurst says, why have a purpose at work? because it lets me be me. How many of you that have been like in the work world, whether you're an entrepreneur or for profit or nonprofit or whatever, how many of you have spent too many years? Somebody give me a thumbs up or high five or hands up or whatever. How many of you have spent too many years working on trying to be some version of yourself for someone else? Anybody? Anybody? Right? I remember a time when I was cleaning out my closet and I looked at my closet, and no offense to anybody who wears stuff like this, but for me, this was not me. I cleaned out my closet and I went and I looked and I saw a row of these floral dresses with lace collars. What? Like, who lived in my closet? It wasn't me. But I had spent so much time trying to be someone else, right? That it was incredibly difficult for me to show up as myself. I was intent on, I'm going to make this person happy. I'm going to make that person happy. Now, there is something to be said for being appropriate. There is something to be said for being honoring. But listen to me, you can't expect somebody else to fulfill your purpose when you don't know your own. I mean, anyway, I'm gonna stop messing with y'all. I'm feeling some kind of way. Okay. So we're talking about purpose. We're talking about our why, right? Isn't that just reserved for corporate types, for CEOs and executives, for pastors? It's just reserved. Those are really the only people who need to have a why because they're leading others. I'm just going to mess with you a little bit, Pastor Andy. I need you to chime in on this for a minute.
Well, it's a great question. Here's the thing: fulfillment is not an external to internal path. What happens on the outside will never bring fulfillment on the inside. And so it's always an internal to external path. So a couple of things that I think are critical. The reason why I don't think purpose is reserved to what we would consider CEOs or whatever these, I don't know, these roles that we would esteem in society as being more weighty or influential, is because you can have great CEOs that are not safe. Purpose makes you a safe person. Purpose makes you safe. If you know who you are, you will create safe space for people to show you who they are. And all of a sudden, you've shifted cultural barrier. Let me just tell you something. Part of what I think we're facing in culture is to that point of scattered. People are scattered. We've all of a sudden lost who we are. We don't know who we are. And that's the significance of purpose. Purpose is like an anchor to the boat of your life that withstands the storms that come against you. And so you become safe. And when you become safe and you become comfortable and you know who you are, people will naturally open up to show you who they are. And now you have an opportunity of trust. Purpose will bring the trust of others because now you've revealed to them what your motive is. And now you've shown them what your agenda is, which will then bring opportunity for you and for me, whether you're at whatever level. You know, if you're working at a restaurant and you're working in the kitchen and you're serving in a capacity and role that people are like, well, it's just my job. Why do I need a purpose? Well, because you and I don't realize that the job is only possible because it impacts or influences people. And what is a job today may be an opportunity for a career or profession tomorrow. Listen, I'm convinced, Karen, you're the expert in this, but you can argue and tell me if I'm wrong on this. I'm convinced people who are employers are looking to hire those that they're convinced already know who they are and won't try to waste platform or position and spend resources that they are not willing to give up to help you satisfy some insecurity because you hadn't figured out who you are yet. And you become promotable not by your performance, but by your purpose, because your purpose will tell you that's not how you do it. That's not how we do it. You know better than this. And someone goes, what's different about you? How is it that you could do? Like, I was listening to Shay talk about her business.
Yeah.
And she all of a sudden, I don't know if anybody caught this. She's like, everybody's buying donuts and pastries out there, but very few people are buying macarons, right? And so all of a sudden, she took who she was and infused it in an expression that now is irresistible.
Come on.
Not because it was the first time we'd heard about this. It's because she showed up and made us all go, what is it about you that makes me want to know you, show you who I am? And by the way, can you give me a box of those macarons?
Yes, Jesus. Come on. Shay Renee Houston, I hope you are watching this. If you ever needed a confirmation that you have a story to tell and that you have made an impact because you are not trying to be regular, y'all go back and watch the live stream. I'm just telling you, she set us on fire. You got Pastor Andy Smith quoting you. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so good. You said something just now that absolutely lit my heart on fire. And it was this, that, purpose keeps you, and it reminds you of who you are. You're not worried about the external stuff, the external stuffs, right? And here's the way I say it. Somebody actually said this to me the other day, and I've been chewing on it ever since. And it really moved me, and it inspired me in those moments when it's tough for me. I said, Karen, you're a lighthouse. And I got to thinking about this. And what they didn't know is that I'm obsessed with lighthouses. But if you think about a lighthouse isn't moved by the sea raging in front of it or around it. A lighthouse is not moved. A lighthouse knows its purpose and it functions. It needs upkeep, right? You got to take care of the lighthouse, but the lighthouse does not move. When it gets dark, when it gets stormy, right? When folks are fighting out there between each other, fighting over territories and, whose side of the sea it is, the lighthouse doesn't move. Are you a lighthouse? Do you know your purpose? Oh, y'all, I'm going to talk about it in a minute. This is too good for words. Y'all, we've got a few minutes left. Don't forget to start a watch party or a live stream sharing this, because we want people to hear this, to be encouraged and inspired in this time. Listen, we're coming into the end of the year, right? And in this community, we're going to finish strong. In just a couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing the announcements for our free webinar called The Path Back to Your Why. If you need a little bit of a jumpstart on your why, I need you to sign up for this webinar. I need you to tell your friends and have them tell their friends. We're going to be talking about how to get back to the path to your why. I don't care if you're a CEO watching this. I don't care if you are a COO of your own home. I don't care if you're in for-profit, not-for-profit, in ministry, whatever it is. We've got some tools for you absolutely free. You're going to be able to download those tools. The team is working on it right now, kind of putting the final touches on it. We wanted to find a way to give people the opportunity to reconnect to their why, because here's what I'm going to tell you. 2021 is coming. Pandemic or not. Time waits for no one, y'all. Time waits for no one. Go download your tool. If you have any issues downloading it, some folks reached out over the weekend and said, oh, we couldn't get to the tool. That's okay. Send us a DM. We'll make sure you get your own fresh copy of the Passion Clarity Workbook. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to give you the opportunity to get clear and to walk into 2021 with a little bit of RYV swagger. I'm just saying. Okay. So, what role is, as people kind of figure out their next steps, Coach Kim and Pastor Andy, life has gotten really real for people, right? Even for those of us who held on to our jobs, or we're back at work, or we've gotten new jobs, or whatever. Life has gotten really, really real. And what I call this season that we've been in, I call it the wilderness experience, right? Where it just feels like everything's piled on, like one thing after another, to the point that you almost don't recognize where you are. I heard somebody say that the other day in a workshop I was doing. They were like, Karen, we don't even recognize what's going on around here. Like, it's hard to even know who you can trust, right? I still feel a little bit afraid. Like, I don't know if I can talk to my neighbor or not talk to I mean, there's still some of that going on. There's a lot of that going on. So as we try to figure out what it means to navigate the wilderness, when you hear that, Pastor Andy, what would you say, kind of what little word of encouragement would you give to this amazing community as we talk about navigating the wilderness?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the wilderness is circumstantial, but your purpose is not. And so wildernesses are these illustrations of, and they imply if you have a wilderness, then you also have an oasis somewhere. You have a place of plenty. You have a place of prosperity. A wilderness represents a season, and it's not permanent unless in the wilderness we lose our bearing, and our bearing is our purpose. And I think the wilderness is actually an interesting gift. It wouldn't be a choice, but it is a gift. And that's another thing I think that purpose brings context to, is that when you show up in the wilderness of an insecure, or unstable, or unsafe, time of life, your purpose will then unlock in you innovations that the chaos did not give you the context or the capacity to consider. And that's the beauty of purpose, is that a wilderness actually becomes a huge replenishing and renewal, because purpose will then cause you to step back. I mean, Karen, you just gave the illustration. So, if we call what you faced with all your contracts, stopping, and if we look at that just in the context of what we're saying, you hit a wilderness. What did you do? Your purpose said, stop, Karen. You back up. You're too close. This is a gift. Here's what I'm going to do. I want to tell you how to be innovative during this season, because what you need to do, Karen, is no longer think about contracts. You need to think about contact. You need to think about, and see, your purpose told you that. No one had to tell you that, right? And for me, it may have been different, but you went from profession to personal. Like, hey, look, pause. Let me step back and realize that in this wilderness, I need contact. And if I need contact, how about the people leading crisis?
Right.
So let me say, I'm going to use the wilderness to bring contact back, because we're so used to having contracts that we are legally establishing our encounters. Let me pause and bring humanity. Let my purpose bring fresh air to your platform and to your position to hopefully unlock a new purpose. And then once we get back to our purpose, we'll go back to contracts.
Oh my gosh.
And so I think that's the beauty. And my wilderness is never about me.
Come on. What do you mean by that?
Well, my wilderness is never about me. No one goes to a wilderness in an isolated chamber. No one goes to a wilderness and comes out of that wilderness only having developed or grown themselves. My wilderness is about developing me for an impact outside of me. And that's the thing, right? It's again a gift in disguise. Even if it wasn't given in the right way, it's a gift. You look at many of the success stories that we love to read of leaders and owners of company who a wilderness is what birthed the idea, because they knew who they were in that moment.
Come on.
I'd say whenever we get placed in a wilderness, we ought to step back and stop and say thank you, and then realize it's a gift. And now let's go to work with my purpose. Purpose, Purpose, it's time for you to rewire, re-guide, reignite, and show me. And most of the time, the next step seems almost like an insignificant step because it's so simple and not complex. Just like, hey, let me reach out to some of my clients and say, look, I'm not looking for a contract. I just want to know, what can I do to support you? It's a simple contact, right? Anyways.
Kim, I know you're about to explode over there.
Well, you know what thought came to my mind is that I mean, Jesus spent what 40 days in the wilderness. I mean, you know, so and just like Pastor Andy said, man, he came out clear with what his purpose was, right? And so the wilderness is a gift. And, you know, and also the thought that came to me was, you know, sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. We get so caught up in looking at all of these, like looking at contracts, looking at the amount of money I'm making, looking at, you know, and we got to step back and realize that my purpose is so much bigger than all of those little things. And if I'm just following my purpose, if I just take a step back and really think about what was it I was created to do, then we know the next step. And you're right, Pastor Andy, it is, you know, then it's insignificant because it's like, well, this is just natural. And everything falls into place from that point. Yeah.
It reminds me, what came to me in that moment as you were talking about, you know, when you walk in your purpose, you know, at some point you gotta stop looking at the outer trappings. Lawrence Henderson is a walking testimony of what it means to walk in purpose. This man, I'm telling you, he's going to end up on somebody's national TV network. Y'all need to get connected with him now before Oprah calls, because then his people are going to get involved and it's going to get messy. But anyway, Lawrence Henderson is a walking testimony of that. But it reminded me, Kim, as you were talking about the movie Castaway. I'm not going to preach, but I'm just going to leave y'all with this. Castaway. This man is on a deserted island. Talk about being in the wilderness. Okay. Y'all know the movie Castaway. If you don't know it, look it up. Tom Hanks was in it. This guy, this executive of some type, gets in a plane crash and he ends up stranded on this deserted island. I forget how long he was on there. Pastor Andy probably knows that. He knows movie facts like that. But anyway, I watched that movie and I didn't get it at the time, but Kim, hearing you talk, like in the midst of nothingness, he had like no one around him. He had the most random of things show up, right? FedEx boxes that he had to open and figure out what was inside. He took his resourcefulness to create, y'all remember the soccer ball? He created the friend he needed. Sometimes you got to create the friend you need. I'm just saying, okay? Because sometimes what's going on around you, right, is not going to help you get to where you need to go. Lord have mercy. Anyway, I'm just saying, sometimes purpose will pull out of you. You're running from it. You're running from the hard time, from the difficult, awkward, like, what does this even mean? I get it. We all have to identify what we're feeling, right? We have to call it. We have to name it. That's important. But once you do that, then I need you to tap into those innate abilities, those things that maybe you've been criticized for, but are actually your superpowers. Okay, I need you to pull in those things. Stop listening to the world. You need to listen to your creator. For me, is Jesus, okay? That's who I connect with. I get in my prayer room. I listen to the Holy Spirit to hear him say to me what I need to be said about how I was designed and what I was designed. I need you to get clear about what you were designed to do. Because your opportunity, your next step is found in your purpose. Y'all don't miss this, Because right now, that hard season that everybody's trying to run from, you know what? It's me and Jesus, and I'm okay with that. That's enough. You know, we sing these songs all the time. Jesus, you're enough. Really? Come on. I need you to live that for a minute. Whatever your source is, right? I need you to walk in it. I need you to walk in it. We're out of time, you guys. You know, I could go on and on and on and on. And we've got some things coming that I'm hoping you guys will lean into, because we're going to be able to take a little bit more time to really kind of dig deep and get in it and have some one-on-one personal conversations. Y'all save the date. The Path Back to Your Why webinar is coming. Our first one is November 2nd. You're going to begin seeing the registrations for those. Don't miss it. It's a free webinar. We're going to get all of our tribe together, and we're going to go deep. We're going to do some work. I mean, all of you are going to have an individual workbook, tools, resources, all of the things you need to do to get clear, to get back on the path back to your why. And we may have some things coming after that. I'm just saying, I'm going to set y'all up for 2021. You're going to walk into 2021 with a swagger. Okay. If y'all don't know what a swagger is, DM me and I'll help you out. I love y'all so much. Coach Kim Dudash, would you just leave us with a little bit of parting wisdom on this idea of your why at work, and then let us know how we can reach you?
Sure. So, yeah, so you can find me on all social media at Coach Kim Dudash. And I'm also on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect with you. But, you know, I just, like we were saying, I think it's just, you know, back up so that you can see the whole forest, right? And realize that you can make an impact no matter what position you hold. You are there to make an impact with your work, based on your authentic self, based on who you are. And, you know, once you know your purpose, once you find your purpose, or like you said, once it's revealed to you, then you can make decisions, right? You can make decisions based on how your life should go. And you don't have to be pulled in so many directions. It can just, I don't know. I think finding your purpose is going to bring you peace. It brings us peace.
Wow.
So
finding your purpose brings us peace, y'all. That was epic. I hope you got that down. Finding your purpose will bring you peace.
Karen, thank you for today. This was great for me. I just love talking about this, and I love being here with you and Pastor Andy. And this has been inspirational for me, and I'm ready to take this and go forward and slay the week, right? So, yeah.
Slay the week. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, we love you, Coach Kim. And just so you guys know, the RYV Squad is a group of leaders that I really felt like God called me to. I really get so much from spending time with them. And in the midst of my wilderness, I was like, what on earth do I do? And Holy Spirit was like, you know what? You do what it is you were called to do. And that is to facilitate conversations about purpose. And so, you know, just to be able to do this with you, Kim, is a great honor. Kim is a colleague. She started out as a client. She became a friend, and now she's a sister. So
thanks,
I love
Karen.
the fact that we get to do life together. You and your amazing husband, Brian.
Me too.
I love that. Thank you. Pastor Andy, I need you to just kind of bring it full circle for a minute on this idea of your why at work, and then let us know how we can find you.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed it. Thank you, Kim. I love the last thing you said. It just rings true. And I don't think people truly value peace as much as we should, but your purpose will bring you peace. And peace is something that is absolutely a center within to bring context to the challenge of without. And so I just think it was brilliant how you said that. And so, you know, what can I say, Karen? You know, we have collectively argued the need for purpose over profession, over passion, over anything else, right? We've argued that really passion is a waste without purpose, and your profession is a distraction without your purpose. And so I think I think if we can argue anything, start with knowing who you are and why you are, and then every other decision has already been made for you, and it takes the wrestle out of anything. And so
Yes.
I would just say, well, I just think this is such a valuable topic. So where can you find me? I'm on. I'm right here on Facebook. That's where you'll find me right here. Most of the time, you'll find me hanging out with you probably on Monday.
That's
So
right.
show up to Rock Your Vision or Facebook. You'll find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Pastor Andy. You are an absolute light in the world. And I just declare in the name of Jesus that your purpose is yet getting started. I'm excited to see what God is doing in your life. I love to hear you preach. I'm super loud at church. I got to work on that. I'm just saying. And I know that. But every time he says something, I'll be in the auditorium somewhere going, oh.
Yeah, don't. That's good. I love
I have
that.
to
Don't
catch
stop that.
myself. Anyway, we love you so much and are so grateful that you would choose to spend time with us. Listen to me, y'all. For those of you that are watching the live stream or on the replay, just drop #replay if you're watching this on the replay. The best stuff happens like as we get towards the end. And then somebody suggested, because it's so good, I'll catch up with everybody once we get off the live stream. It's kind of the after show, and the after show is so lit, y'all. Last week's after show, I about like wore myself out. I had to take a nap afterwards because it was so good. But y'all connect with us, rockyourvision.net on the web, or you can find us right here where you found us on Facebook. You can also find us on YouTube. So for all of you that are following us on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We would love to stay connected with you. And if there's a topic you'd like to talk about, let us know. We're already planning for 2021, and I'm super excited about that because actually, even before 2021, as we come to the end of the year, we're moving our vision board experience up into December. And I'm excited about that because that means you're going to walk into January 1 like, what you got? And I'm excited about that because that's my plan. I want you to remember something. You have more options than you realize.
That's
Whatever
right.
it is you're dealing with right this minute, you have an opportunity to make an impact. Connect with your purpose. If you've never done that, or maybe you need to refresh your purpose, maybe you need to kind of look at it with a fresh lens. I want you to follow us on social media, pop over to rockyourvision.net and sign up for our resources. We've got some things that we think are going to help you do just that. In the meantime, I love y'all, and we will see you next week. Don't miss it. We're going to have none other than Mike Kenny. He is the EVP of the Cal Ripken Foundation. I think it is. This man is a boss. Y'all need to know him. He's my friend, and he's going to be coming into the Rock Your Vision community. So I will see you then. Have a great week, everybody. Y'all hold on one